Hello, hello. It's alive. Oh. Briefly, can you hear me? Oh, good, an ad. My boss's boss came into my work today and shook my hand, and the first thing he said to me was, "What level are you in D4 now?" Boss says you're the only one higher than him. That's hilarious. Are we back? Everyone hear me? Okay, sweet. Yeah, there's no really explanation for like why my stream keeps dying. It's Streamlabs specific. Streamlabs, like the software, just keeps freezing, and I have to Alt F4 to get out of it to restart it. And I've been working with support for like 2 weeks to try to figure it out. They can't figure out what's going on. I might have to just switch streaming software. I really don't know. Yeah, Warren, I'm super down to do it. I would love to have these conversations in like a more organized manner because I think people would like to listen to them. I used to be OBS Studio. I used to too, and then Streamlabs was like I was using things. So I don't know. It's not working anymore. I don't know why. I think it has something to do with me streaming Diablo 4 and multi-streaming at the same time. I think it's a good conversation to have, Warren. I really do. And I think I'm going to be in the minority, which I generally am with my opinions, which I actually think would probably be a good watch. Yeah, I mean, like, they can go create action games, man. Like no one's stopping them from doing that. There's a reason they're doing it within Final Fantasy. Yeah, we could all just do it somewhere and then do the podcast. What's your opinion? Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just like 7, 8, 9, 10. Literally just revolutionize people's childhoods. And like I don't understand why more people aren't upset that like some dude that's like a VP or a CEO at Square was like, you know what, I'm gonna change it up. I know these games have done amazing in the past. I know everyone loves them. I think we need to shake things up. It's just like, why, man? Why do they keep doing that with these games? Like, look at Pokemon. Look how successful Pokemon has been with just a die-hard community. Every game is a W. Yeah, they're not all perfect. Yeah, the Pokemon are like recycled. But Pokemon fans continue to buy new Pokemon because they know the formula, they love the formula, and it works. And then they come out with that Eevee shit, and it's like the worst Pokemon game ever released. I only play Gen 1 or 2. I mean, those are definitely my favorite, but it's like, you can pick up any one of those gens, and they're just like 1 and 2. And it's like, yeah, that's probably not capturing like all the new people, but they really don't need to. Yeah, and exactly. And I think that's exactly what that game was designed to do. They changed up the formula to grab a younger audience, and I think that's the problem. I think that's the problem because they're trying to get new money in. I hate stupid change, for sure. When the kids game is trying to attract kids. But it doesn't have to. You know, it's just like, if you guys want to go after a younger generation, create a new series. There's a reason they're not doing that. They're not doing that because they know they can't succeed in that genre, or they would do it. But they don't do it. Instead, they use the name, which will recruit all of the legacy players like us, no matter what. They'll slap Final Fantasy on the trash that was 15, the mediocrity that was 13. And they'll continue to do that because the legacy players continue buying it, hoping that it's like 7, 8, 9, or 10. But at the same time, they are also pulling in new people that like that genre for money. For being so late, bot. Literal most profitable IP in the world. I mean, it's not the most profitable IP in the world because of Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. All right, Warren. We'll save it for the podcast. Yeah, I mean, I think Diablo 4 is good enough. Do I think it is what it could have been had they kept the roots of Diablo 2 and enhanced on them? Absolutely not. It's nowhere near what it could have been, and that's what I'm, constantly bringing up. It's just like the potential was there, and they just abandoned it. They just walked away from it because they wanted the game to be more accessible so they could pull in people that are not lovers of the genre. And again, it just wraps right back around to they're trying to sell as many copies as possible. They're not trying to put out good games. They're trying to sell as many copies as possible. Yeah, I mean, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I don't really have a problem with them doing that because Pokemon is so good at consistently releasing games. If they experiment with some stuff, it really doesn't matter. Because they stay true to their OG crowd, and in the next 6 months they will release another Red and Blue to keep the people happy. But other game series don't do that. Like Final Fantasy's not doing that. They're trying to appeal to the new blood, and just like no one else in chat beat 15. It is so subjective to you specifically. Let's go. Or a new take on Red and Blue. They cut out the grind, but still kept everything else and expanded on it, while adapting fun things like tossing balls. No, maybe. But it's not, though. It's not just subjective to me because Red and Blue were some of the most famous games ever created. And Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu are not. And it makes this conversation extra difficult because, for example, Final Fantasy 15, I think for most people, was extremely mediocre. But it was the highest selling Final Fantasy game ever. One of the most profitable Switch games. Yeah, and that's the next point I was getting to. Because after I said that, I was like, I bet if I look it up, it's actually going to be a really high-selling game. And Final Fantasy 15 sold the highest ever, even though the game was arguably worse than the rest of the series. Why is that? Well, it's because the name's on there. Like, they're literally just selling the name at this point. They could turn it into a Pac-Man copy and call it Final Fantasy Man. And it's still gonna, like, break records in every direction. Well, 7 sold the most copies. I'm assuming they're probably taking in the remake in there also, which would not surprise me at all. But even Final Fantasy VII Remake, they had to go New Age on that. Combat is far inferior to the original. Come here. I'm leaving. Come here. Yo. Upside down. What's up, dude? Man, that ring's almost good. Oh, it's sacred. It's trash. Everyone loved it. I can't. Yeah. Everyone loved it. Have you ever heard one person say Final Fantasy VII Remake was better than the original? Answer's no. Want to come farm with Regis and I? Any other time I would. I'm actually already past my bedtime, but we're just having a heated conversation, so I didn't want to give up on it. You're the old man from up before his... Yeah, so... Gosh. Who could I compare you to? I need a character that's excited by anything, even if it's awful. Because any glimmer of fun is better than quality. What character? Someone give me a character from a cartoon series. Make him funny looking also. So it's like... Good luck. Now, Warren's super busy. I should stop provoking him so he can go work. I just threw up. Yeah, I don't know. Warren I can have civilized conversations with. I wish Red was here. Because Red I cannot. I'm Doug from... Is Doug the kid? Red's take on everything is always so surprising to me because Red is the biggest Final Fantasy person I've ever met. Doug's the golden retriever. Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you for delivering. Red makes no sense. Like he just makes no sense to me. Like Red is the most hardcore, die-hard, OG Final Fantasy fan. All of his favorite games, his favorite JRPGs are like turn-based Final Fantasy type RPGs. And then he just like is willing to die for this action combat. And he should be more mad than I am. Even if it's right, it doesn't even matter if it's right or wrong. I won't even argue that my stance is correct. But Red is a human being. Should be on my side of this conversation. And yeah, he hates things you think he'd love, and then he loves things you think... I couldn't agree more. Sometimes I think he just takes a stance just to do it. Like when he's like 98 years old dying in his deathbed, he's just gonna whip out this little red pocket book of all the things that he was like, I trolled you and Warren on all these things for the last 90 years, and I just want you to know now that I actually didn't mean any of it. I haven't talked to Red in forever. How's the Mad Lad doing? He's doing great, man. Red's doing excellent in all regards. Except for streaming. I can't get him to stream anymore. He's just like totally over it. I've actually seen all the Fast and the Furious movies and they're great. No, he didn't say that. I've actually seen all the Fast and... Oh, you mean on his deathbed? Yeah, exactly, dude. He chopped one of his deathbed shoulder. I mean, yeah, that's a weird thing to hate. Like Fast and the Furious was... I think it delivers on exactly what it is. Like, Fast and the Furious is not supposed to be an epic novel of like perfect story. It's supposed to be like hot people driving fast cars. That's exactly what the series should be. Yeah, I think they're great. I don't think they're like going in a time capsule or anything, but I think Fast and Furious movies are they're exactly what I would want for sitting down and watching a Fast and the Furious movie. Bye, Warren. Get some good work in. I am much more open to movies though than I am games. Like I'll sit down and watch a bad movie and just have the best time. I'm able to like completely detach myself from like what I expect. Like I go into almost every movie with no expectations, and I'm always like I tend to always enjoy it. Except for the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. That was disappointing. They're working on another one. I love low budget horror movies. That's the crazy thing about horror movies. It's like you really don't have to do a lot to scare people. Like you don't have to like really do a lot to be scared in general. Like honestly, if you put us in a scenario where it's dark outside and you're in an isolated environment and there's noises, terrified. You don't even have to use any CGI. Get a guy out there just stepping on branches. I'm scared shitless. This guy's looking fancy. Okay. Been up too long. I will get those 4 Paragon points tomorrow, though, so I'm pretty excited about that. We're still experiencing DDoS attacks, huh? All right, ladies and gents. Yeah, I gotta call it. I gotta work in the morning, and I need to have a productive day tomorrow because I did not have a productive day today. TikTok has just taken over my soul. I gotta remove it. I gotta remove and be a responsible adult. Yeah, I really appreciate Replay. I'll probably be streaming again tomorrow. So if you guys get bored, please come harass me about my terrible opinions on things. I'm gonna start a series called Popular Opinions. And just throw all this stuff on TikTok and just watch the comments just rip me apart. All right.